Hey, I'm Anna.
I'm Zoe.
I'm Zach.
Okay, so we watched the episode of Ted Lasso, which was Make Rebecca Great Again. And in the episode, basically, the team that Ted is coaching, they finally win a game. And it's a huge deal because they've been losing game after game after game. And after they win the game, they decide to go out to the bar to celebrate. And why Ted was in there, he has this huge panic attack for many different reasons. One of them is because he's about to get a divorce with his then wife. And so they're at the bar, they're having a good time. Rebecca starts singing. She seems like she's starting to loosen up. And whenever Ted has his panic attack, she comes over to him and consults him. And during that, everyone that was watching feels like Rebecca and Ted are like they have a really good friendship, but it kind of seems like they like each other. After Ted has his panic attack, he decides to go back home to the place where he's staying, and then Jamie's friend comes, Sassy.
After Ted gets back to the hotel that he was staying at, Rebecca's friend, Sassy, comes over and, they do what they're going to do. And after Keely and Roy leave together, and I think the representation, or I think what Keely going home with Roy shows is that is Keely's character development. She's no longer just like a celebrity or like a model to these guys, but more of she's becoming like an emotional support for multiple people: Ted, Rebecca, Roy, some other people on the team. I think an important scene from episode 7 is when the team comes together and they each burn something that they care about as like a ritual because they haven't beat, I forget the team, but whatever team they were playing, they haven't beat them in a long time, so they perform a ritual to kind of break the curse, and then they end up winning and going and celebrating, which brings the team closer.
So, for system theory in Ted Lasso season 1, episode 7, the team functions as an example of systems theory, where every player's actions affect the whole group. Like Ted sees that Roy's frustration isn't just his own issue; it impacts the team chemistry and performance. And by benching Roy, Ted helps rebalance the system and shows how leader can maintain harmony through communication. And this special episode proves that when one part of the system changes, the entire structure shifts along with it.
Yeah, as well as in the recap, Ted does end up benching Roy during the game, and you can see a huge shift with Roy when he gets benched by Ted, because everything changes. It shows in Roy's attitude and how he feels towards Ted, and that really reflects the whole entire team and how they feel about Ted moving forward.
So still in the 7th episode, narrative theory appears when characters use personal stories to make sense of their lives and relationships. Like Rebecca's emotional moment in Liverpool reveals how her divorce has shaped her identity and the story she tells about herself. And when Ted and Keely listen without judgment, it allows Rebecca to start rewriting that narrative into one of growth and confidence. And through shared stories, the episode shows how communication reshapes self-understanding and connection.
Mhm.
I agree, and it's interesting because throughout the majority of the episodes that we've watched so far, Rebecca is driven by spiting her ex-husband and trying to ruin everything. And in this episode, we can kind of see that she starts to care more about the team and gains a sense of dignity back, and because she starts to care more about the team, she's driven by something that's more positive, and I think that's the reason we see her storm off the field when they're all burning things together. She walks away because that's a lot of, I guess, emotional trauma that she has to go through, where she's, her whole thing was about ruining the program or ruining the team because of her ex-husband, to now she's starting to care and actually want to see them do well, and she's building relationships within the team.
So for friendship communication, Rebecca and Kaylee's growing friendship perfectly represents how friendship communication builds trust and emotional support. Like Kaylee encouraged Rebecca to relax and open up, breaking down the barriers that her bitterness created. And their conversations are full of empathy, humor, and self-disclosure. And so it's key traits of healthy friendship communication. And this new bond not only helps Rebecca heal, but also brings more warmth and honesty to the group dynamic.
Yeah, also in episode 7, it is a big aspect how Rebecca and Keeley are becoming really close friends, because, like me, I don't think that I would ever see that coming, and their friendship is growing as like the whole show progresses, as well as in episode 7. Rebecca's friend Sassy comes into play, and it seems like they have a really good friendship in the past, and they've just started off where they left off with their friendship in episode 7. And also, knowing what happens at the end of episode 7, it's going to be interesting to see how their friendship moves forward after what happened. As well as what happened at the end of episode 7, and not knowing what's going to happen with their friendship moving forward, that can include some sorts of conflict between Rebecca and Sassy moving forward.
So in episode 7, social exchange theory is seen through Rebecca's internal struggle over honesty with Ted. So she weighed the emotional cost of keeping her secrets against the reward of finally telling the truth. And over time, she realized that genuine connection and self-respect are more valuable than manipulation or control. And the theory helps explain her growing motivation to choose honesty over deception.
I think a lot of the growth that we see in episode 7 stems from episode 6. In episode 6, the focal point was Jamie and how he's extremely talented, but he's also selfish and acts like he's better than everyone. Ted ends up confronting him about him being injured, and what follows is Jamie's old team requesting that he be sent back to them if he's not going to play, which creates a little bit of conflict between Ted and Rebecca. And before that happened, what Ted did was brought in a new player, Danny Rojas, to kind of create some competition and almost give Jamie a reality check, like, hey, you know, if you're gonna be injured like you claim, then you know we have somebody else to fill your spot, and he's pretty good. And you can pause it for a sec. I think Danny Rojas is a narrative device for Ted's philosophy, and he represents cultural translation, which it's a really small part of the episode, but it plays a really big role. I also think that the rest of the team seeing somebody that has equal talent to Jamie, but they're, you know, how they interact, how that person interacts with the rest of the team can be positive. I think that has an effect on the team, and once Jamie is not there, it kind of draws them all closer together. I think there's kind of like a barrier between the team when Jamie's there, because they want to follow the best player. But now that the best player is someone who's positive and excited about playing soccer, you kind of see the team's attitude shift.
Yeah, I can agree that led to a huge source of conflict with the team, and moving forward throughout the rest of the episodes and seeing how that all plays out. In Ted Lasso, the show, especially in episode 7, that could be really relational to us, like in our own lives, just dealing with different friendship outcomes and seeing how, if there's a conflict in a friendship, seeing how that can play out moving on.